How's it going, everyone? Chris and Ash, Onorato and Miller live on a Wednesday night. The NBA playoffs tipping off with the playoff tournament this week. Stanley Cup playoffs get going this week as well. Rory goes back-to-back at Augusta, one of only 4 golfers to ever do that. We'll talk about his resilient third and fourth round in the Masters. We've got a conversation with our guys from NOVUS coming up about a new partnership that company has with a local soccer development program started by a couple of Soccer Siena alums. That'll be on the show this week as well. And, of course, our Performance Industrial Dirty Difficult done. Let's go.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpenhaus.
What is wrong with the New York Mets? We'll get into that again live on a Wednesday night. New York stuck in a 7-game losing streak and unable to produce any kind of offense. We'll also talk about the great night that was on Tuesday night at Casey Stadium on UAlbany's campus to remember and celebrate the life of the late head coach, Liam Gleason. Some really powerful moments from that game. But we start with our Performance Industrial Dirty Difficult done.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Performance Industrial and Bill Miller's great squad there. Never a job too dirty or too difficult for them to get it done. And that's exactly what Rory McIlroy did, pulling off the historically difficult feat of consecutive Masters wins. Again, only one of 4 golfers to ever do this. Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, back-to-back. Nobody's ever won 3 in a row. These are back-to-back green jackets.
That's pretty elite company.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, you know, a guy who it took 17 years to get the first one, now to go back-to-back. And it looked like it was going to be a runaway. Yeah. After the second round, Rory had a 6-shot lead. And I thought, how much of the weekend do I need to really watch? Well, Saturday, to your point, Ash, yeah, exactly. He came back to the field. People went racing towards the top of the leaderboard, and we were in for one heck of a Sunday. And even Rory struggled early on Sunday. He double bogeys 4. He trailed by as many as 3 shots at one point and was able to kind of just hang in there. Some guys like Justin Rose, who had a 2-shot lead at one point, fell off. Rory stayed there and able to 2-putt his way, bogey on 18 to victory. To me, that was the most impressive part. Rory of old would have fallen off and stayed off. But maybe it was the confidence of winning last year. Maybe it was the don't give a you-know-what because I already have a green jacket. The pressure isn't on me. I can go play free and loose. And whatever happens, happens. Good for him. I think it's cool. I mean, he is one of the best golfers of this generation. Forever, we've been talking about who's the next Tiger Woods. There isn't one, but Rory has taken the mantle. Okay. Rory has taken the mantle of that, like, next great golfer, even into his second half. But he's
already, I was going to say, he's already on his, like, sunset.
Yep.
Scotty is so much on the
29 only.
on the rise that it feels like he's got a better chance to be the next Tiger.
Yeah.
Than Rory really will be. Yeah. I mean, he's got 6, right? 6 majors.
Yep.
So he could end up pushing, 8 if he's 10, if he's lucky.
Yeah.
If he keeps up this track. It just took him so long to really get going and to kind of live up to those expectations. You've seen the clips. All the clips came back of him when he was young, chipping into a washing machine and talking about all the tournaments that he wanted to take part in and win. And now he's finally done it. And we've said it. He's gone through this evolution personally, I think. There was a lot of pressure I think he probably put on himself, but his personal life, he wasn't the most likable guy when he was younger. And now he's just reached the point where he just feels really likable, like he's your average dad at this point. And now, yeah, maybe it is that he's playing just a little less pressure on himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't put that on his own person, despite where the pressure might come from all the other places.
Yeah.
And he's carrying a country. Like he's it's all of Ireland that's like, yeah, he's our guy.
The video of people
Hollywood
at
Golf
Hollywood Golf Club in Northern Ireland watching Rory late into the night, early into the morning was really cool. Cool to see his parents there who weren't there last year when he won the Masters. Yeah, good stuff. He's
got enough confidence to say, like, and he said this after he won his first Masters. It took me 17 years. Yeah. Maybe I'll be back next year putting the jacket on myself. And he joked about it. And you don't put the jacket on yourself. The club chair does it, or Augusta chair does it. But, you know, he's always had that like swagger. It just hasn't always been warranted. And now it's getting to the point where I think people appreciate it a little more because he backs it up.
Yeah. And Scotty pushed him.
I think if it went 4 more holes, he would have had problems.
Yeah, Scheffler finished at 11 under.
Hot.
Rory at 12. He came back 1 shot there on 18, knowing he could 2-putt his way to a win. But had Scotty made birdie on 17, it just barely slid by the hole.
Yeah.
And Rory has a 1-shot lead on 18T.
Does he play like the Rory of old?
Or just a little tighter, right?
Yeah.
You just play a little tighter, knowing, hey, I have no margin for error here. But Rory winning a second straight Masters sets up what should be a really fun year of majors now with 3 more to go.
What's better than majors golf? I
Nothing.
mean, majors tennis is great too. And I find myself so like, I don't know, just so into it. And I don't watch other golf tournaments at all, even the players and things that people get really into. I tend to be so just like enraptured by the majors.
Yeah, I know. Yep. NBA playoffs start, as we said, Stanley Cup playoffs get going this week as well. Buffalo Sabres. How about the first time in history Devils, Islanders, Rangers all missed the postseason the same year? It's never happened before since the Devils joined the NHL in 1982. It has never happened before this year. The Islanders were the last hope because New York and New Jersey had been out of it forever, and the Isles couldn't get in on one of the very last nights of the regular season. So the Buffalo Sabres are New York's hope to do something in the playoffs. And you're right.
That streak. They're into the playoffs. It's been, how long was it? 18 years or something like that?
Now the Jets have the longest playoff drought
in the major professional sports.
Yep, those 4 that we always kind of talk about here. The Jets have that longest drought. We'll see what the Sabres can do. Lightning are a very popular pick in the East. Carolina, always kind of there. Colorado out west, a popular pick as well. So we'll see what happens with the Sabres when the Stanley Cup playoffs get rolling. About the NBA playoffs, where do the Knicks stack up here in the Eastern Conference? They are the 4th betting favorite just to win the conference.
Yeah.
Plus 600. You're talking about Detroit, Boston, Cleveland, not in that particular order. Boston, Detroit, Cleveland. The Knicks would have to see Boston in the second round, which is what makes this extremely challenging.
Difficult. Yeah. I don't know. So it's so hard for me still. And obviously the Pistons, we love you, Kev, have proven their worth all season long. It's just so hard for me to believe that they're the real deal after the struggles that they've gone through when you have a team, not necessarily the Knicks, but a team like Boston, who's been there, done that, has won in the recent past. So for me, I still would say, I'm going to lean with the Celtics because of the star power. They're healthy. And the Knicks just haven't done it recently.
Recently.
They haven't done it in a really long time.
Yeah.
They've been close, but I just don't think that they've gotten better. Like they haven't made big offseason moves to get over what is considered the hump for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see them going to the finals and winning an NBA championship.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a second consistent, reliable star,
right?
The way Boston has Tatum and Brown.
And
would you say Brunson and Towns are in the same league? No, you wouldn't.
No.
Especially considering the way Brown played without Tatum to keep this Boston team in it, where it felt like it could be a throwaway year.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown was like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And so Tatum comes back
Put him
healthy.
on his back.
Because Tatum could have sat out the whole year or come back just for the last couple of weeks or whatever to just try to kind of get on that Achilles a little bit. But Tatum knew he was coming back to a true championship contender in Boston. And that is despite the fact that the Celtics were kind of letting guys walk, moving guys in the offseason, anticipating something
maybe it's a
throwaway year.
Yep.
And now they're the favorites to win the East.
It's amazing. I mean, you mentioned the credit that should go to Jaylen Brown. I don't think anyone could have imagined them being where they were at the point when Tatum came back to the lineup. I think people just sort of assumed, nope, we're going to skip this year. We'll be back next year. But to Tatum's credit, I think he thought, you know what? They did this for me. I'm coming back to do this for them. Maybe it was partially for him too, but.
And how Brown hasn't been a bigger part of the MVP conversation is such a surprise to me. You literally only talk SGA, Wemby, and Jokic.
Yeah.
There's
not a lot of flash.
Maybe
and not
had
that there's a lot
Tatum
of flash
never come back, then Brown would be talked about more. I don't know, but this season belongs to Jaylen Brown.
For sure.
For
and I think, you talk about, to me, Tatum for sure is a superstar, but Jaylen Brown is as close to a superstar as you're going to get. Brunson and Towns don't rise to that level for me. Like Brunson shows flashes of it.
Okay.
Towns, no.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think those two things are equal. And I think that's where it's going to make a difference. If you have two superstars, essentially what we're going to dub that's what you need to win an NBA title. New York doesn't have two superstars.
Yeah. No, by the way, Derek White and a guy like Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, they've got it all. They've got the pieces.
Key shots when they need them.
They have unselfish guys who don't, those guys are probably good enough to start on almost any team in the league. And they've got guys who are going to defer to their superstars and show up when they're needed. And that's essentially what White and Pritchard are good at.
Yeah. So are we saying
Boston
that the Knicks ceiling is the second round?
I mean, if that's when you're saying
it'll be Boston.
Yeah. Then yes.
New York's the 3, Boston's the 2.
I don't think that's their ceiling from just a general perspective, but when you look at what the draw is, if that's going to be the matchup, then yes, their ceiling is the second round.
If the Knicks get bounced in the second round, there have to be changes in the offseason. And of course, everybody is going to talk about Giannis, right? Okay, it's time for the Knicks to do something really big. Obviously, the signing of Brunson was key. The trade for Towns was great. But it will feel like if we lose in the second round, Boston or not, right, eventual NBA champion or not, we've got to do something really significant.
Yeah.
And from a fan's perspective, that would really only be Giannis.
Yep.
Not even like LeBron at 41 would be enough, I don't think.
No.
For the Knicks fan base to go, okay, now we're in position to beat those top contenders. Because, oh, by the way, if you can't get past Boston, that likely means you wouldn't have gotten past Oklahoma City, a fast rising Spurs team, a formidable Nuggets squad. Like, the Knicks, and I'll just put them up now. I mean, look how far down the Knicks are in Vegas's championship
It's not really
odds.
all that surprising, though, right?
2, 4, 6, 7th on the list, right? So, it will create more of an interesting offseason if New York goes out in the second round.
Yeah, and I think you have to entertain the idea of Giannis. How do you keep that together, though?
You wouldn't.
That's it. You've got to get rid of
more
something.
Teams involved. Towns would go.
Yep.
There would be picks involved to Milwaukee. because Towns, I don't think, fits with Miles Turner in Milwaukee, who they just gave a big contract to. So it would be a 3 or 4 team deal to make this thing happen. It would not be easy to do.
Yeah, but I think you have to keep. I mean, Brunson has to stay because now there's your 2 superstars. And I don't know how those 2 will play together, but I think they'd play okay together. It's just a matter of, can you do what Boston has done? You have the 2 superstars. Do you have enough of a supporting cast to put 5 great players on the floor that can compete with what Boston has?
Yeah. All right. So here are your championship odds. So let's play Beat the Thunder. Who's the biggest threat to Oklahoma City repeating?
I mean, we just talked our faces off about the Celtics. The Nuggets obviously feel like anytime you have a guy like Nikola Jokic, he's a matchup problem. But
San Antonio has owned the regular season against the Thunder.
Okay.
The head-to-head matchups have gone heavily in San Antonio's favor. Do they have the formula? Is it too soon for them? You hear people say all the time, and look, there is history to suggest that this narrative is warranted, that you've got to lose big and lose painfully before you can
on the other side.
Win big. You've seen it happen with a lot of teams over the years, but not everybody.
No.
Magic won right away. Of course, he had Kareem, but it took Jordan time. The Thunder really, in a lot of ways, like, they did it very quickly.
Yeah, but you saw it coming, and we talked about it a trillion times about the number of first-round picks that they just stashed away. And it wasn't quickly exactly. Like, you're talking about the last time they were good pre-SGA was Kevin Durant.
Well, but I'm talking about, like, once
they did it?
Yeah, did we see this version of the Thunder lose in the Western Conference Finals or NBA Finals in dramatic fashion kind of before they won the title? No.
Yeah, I don't know that I believe that has to happen, but the formula for the Thunder is very different than the formula for the Spurs. Obviously you have 2 superstars. I just think the number of first round draft picks and second round draft picks that the Thunder built up, they had a supporting cast very quickly. It was like they all of a sudden had this great team, and it felt like it happened overnight. We're now on year 3 or 4 of Wemby.
Yeah.
They've put in good pieces. Stephon Castle, like they've made
the move for De'Aaron Fox.
Yep, they've put in good pieces and made moves. It's just been a different build than the Thunder.
Yeah. So you're going Celtics. Biggest threat to OKC defending the title?
I don't know that they're the biggest, but we just talked our faces off about them.
Okay.
But maybe the Nuggets for me, if I'm looking for a money pick.
Yeah.
Better money.
Yep.
You're going Spurs.
I think I'm going to go Spurs.
Okay.
Here.
I think it would be. I would love to see.
It still feels like we're just
point.
Scratching the surface with Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Minutes restrictions, right? A little bit of injury this year.
Is he gonna be a healthy? Will he ever be like a healthy player?
He has to be there consistently, and he has to play big minutes in the playoffs in order for San Antonio to.
He's
make
unguardable.
The run. Yeah.
Literally unguardable.
Yeah.
It's not his height. We've talked about it kind of ad nauseum. It's not just his height. The fact that he's 4 inches taller than everyone on the court, and let alone the smallest people on the court, but his ability to ball handle and shoot the three. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, you can't come out on him and block a 3. So if he can hit a 3 as well as almost any point guard in the league, like, he's just impossible.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, how people felt about Jokic, but Jokic can play bully ball. Wembanyama doesn't really play bully ball. He has the ability to get to the rim, but he's never going to like bowl you over unless he just kind of like, engulfs you.
That would be the second round matchup, San Antonio and Denver. They are respectively the 2 and the 3 seeds out west. There was a potential for LA and Denver to swap, but it's the Lakers who are the 4. and Houston the 5 or vice versa. That's the 4-5 matchup anyway. So in the second round, we could get Spurs Nuggets, which would be a lot of fun.
Be awesome.
And then could set up for a great Western Conference Finals with Oklahoma City. All right, that starts this week. We're in the play-in tournament during the week here. Not going to pay a ton of attention.
Look what the odds say about the West. You know what I
Correct.
mean? Like
Correct.
It's the West and the Celtics, according to the odds makers.
Yep.
Pistons getting no love.
No, and I have a little bit on Detroit from a couple of months ago to win it all.
Good for you.
We'll see. Big year for the NBA. They became more network focused. And so, yeah, even in 2026, like, yes, network TV is still more accessible for most of the country than any streaming platform out there. You put it on an NBC, an ABC, people are more likely to find it and watch it. And that was the result here of the NBA going back to NBC, still having that ABC, ESPN relationship, and the best viewership in the last 24 years. 170 million people. It was like a 2 million person average per game across these major platforms of where you could find the NBA. Good for them. The attendance in person is up. It's been a very popular sport because it markets its superstars very well.
Yep.
And, you know, we've talked about this ad nauseum with compared to the NFL. NBA players don't wear helmets. They're much more easily identifiable. There are
fewer of them.
Yes. There's a culture to the NBA that attracts young people. So it's been very popular for a long time.
But that's why I'm stunned that this is the best viewership in 24 years.
It's
like
choosing
it doesn't
the
feel
right
like
network
now,
partners.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like now is any different than like 10 years ago for me. It feels like it's been popular, but I don't know.
Yeah, you get a Sunday night primetime game.
Yeah.
Right. Before that, it was like you'd find a game on Tuesday and Thursday on TNT and a Wednesday or a Friday on ESPN, and then they had some Saturday on ABC. Like it didn't, I don't know. It felt like every time I watched the NBA, a lot of times I was going to my NBA
package
subscription.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It just felt a little more accessible this year, and the numbers clearly prove that.
Yeah.
So a big year for the NBA. Let's talk about the WNBA here before we take our first break of the show, and we'll talk with the owners of NOVUS and the owners of a soccer development program called Beestera Soccer, a few Siena Soccer alums at the roots of that. AZ Fudd goes number 1 to Dallas. They'll pair her with Paige Beckers, the rookie of the year last year. Olivia Miles goes to Minnesota, a player from Spain to Seattle. Lauren Betts to the Mystics. Gabriela Jaquez to the Sky. Kiki Rice to Toronto. And I'll stop there to point out 5 UCLA players in the top 15. 6 in the first 2 rounds. 5 in the top 15 from UCLA.
So what happens when you win a title? But we've talked about
with
it.
all seniors, right?
Yep. We've talked about it.
100% of the points
They're
scored
ready
in
to
that
go.
title game scored by a senior.
Yep. You're maxed out. Can't play any, or if you're not playing a 6th year, you're coming out.
Yep.
And if you win and you win with seniors, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Yep.
And this is funny because we talked about it last week and Fudd had dropped down and Olivia Miles was up to 1.
Yep.
But how do you not, and I know this can't be the reason. And they both had great tournaments, Fudd and Miles. How do you not pair her up with Paige Beckers, knowing the history, the connection, the playing together since they were young? Then they play together in college. They win. It has to work, right? I would think it has to work. I also think she's the best player was the best player in women's college basketball.
Me too.
No shade on Olivia Miles.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yep.
She's not AZ Fudd.
Yeah, I think Fudd is the best player. And if you're in a position where you're like, hey, we're the wings, we just need to collect the best players possible, and we'll figure out positions. Like, you read all the lead up to the draft, and it's like, well, Dallas doesn't need another 2 guard. They have Paige Beckers. You put Fudd there. How does this fit? I don't know. I think when you have great players who, to your point, have such a history of playing together and such a personal relationship, that like you trust them just to figure it out, for there not to be this selfish nature that kind of takes over what they're able to do as a team. We'll see.
Yeah. And I don't know, admittedly, know nothing about this player from Spain. So the only place I could have seen it going differently is if Dallas says, hey, I need a big. Lauren Betts has a skill set and a size that AZ Fudd and Olivia Miles do not have. So had she gone first, I would have understood, because if Dallas says, hey, we need a big who's super versatile, very skilled, you can't teach size, as they say. But Fudd and Miles are much more similar style basketball players than someone like a Lauren Betts.
All right, we'll take a break here on Onorato and Miller. When we come back, can we solve the Mets early in the season? Not even 20 games in, but a lot of fans have their hand over the panic button given what the offense is not doing. We're back on Onorato and Miller.
Days like this don't happen by accident. They happen on a tracker. Alpenhaus Boats, Route 30 in Amsterdam.
Maybe this journey you're on has a purpose much greater than yourself. A purpose that goes beyond the field, the court, the gym. A crown awaits those who never give up. It's your time to dream again, to claim victory, and rise up. So what are you waiting for? It's time to rise. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, Ash, easy to overreact early on in any season, the Major League Baseball season included, even though we know you got 162 of these. How soon is too soon? I've always said I don't really pay attention to the standings until Memorial Day weekend. I've got 2 months of data at that point. I feel like without the return of a player from an injury or a midseason trade, you kind of are who you are after 2 months of games. I heard Curtis Granderson, Jimmy Rollins, and Jake Peavy all on Tuesday night on the TBS broadcast kind of agree. Like 40 games is a good kind of sample size, if you will.
We're at 18 with the Mets.
Yeah. And so look at what New York is doing here in the 7-game losing streak. And this is without Juan Soto. So back to my point of, unless there is a significant player returning from injury, Soto is that and will be that. But all of the turnover, all of the change with this roster and a lineup in particular, and very little production. I mean, you're talking about the McNeils and Nimos and Alonzos gone from last year. In come the Simeons and Bichettes and Luis Roberts. And you're getting a run and a half a game during this 7-game losing streak. They were shut out 3 times in 4 games. They just lost Tuesday night 2-1, albeit to the Dodgers, but still, they're not losing slugfests.
I'd take 2-1 to the Dodgers every day of the week. Means you're doing something right. Listen,
not the way Steve Cohen is investing in this team, right? Like, the idea isn't to lose close games to even the Dodgers.
Here's the deal.
Go ahead.
They're 7-11. No one is running away with this division.
No.
The Braves lead the division at 11-7. Feels like a very early time to hit the panic button. But another number for me, like 63 runs scored, 71 runs against. It's a -8 run differential. They are not getting smoked by people. If they were getting smoked by people, that run differential would be like the Braves have a 41 run differential. in the
Plus.
positive. Yes. They're not getting smoked. I understand that they're not scoring a lot of runs. You know how this works. Sometimes it takes a little bit. I just think it's way too early to hit the panic button.
Okay.
You don't have arguably your best player, the guy that should be your
yeah.
best player.
Oh yeah.
It feels like an overreaction.
Okay, so you're preaching some patience here. Are you preaching optimism for the Mets this season?
I'm not a Mets fan, and I wouldn't want to be, because I would never be optimistic about this team.
Yeah.
All they do is disappoint their fan base. Where's Sam to talk about the Mets?
I know.
We got him probably with the Wednesday thing. They underachieve, but I still wouldn't hit the panic button.
Here's a Mets fan. Kind of simple math here, right? Get rid of all the good hitters. My guess is we won't hit good. And I think there was this, the relationship with Pete Alonso and the Mets to me was always so interesting.
Yeah.
He always felt like he's the polar bear. And there was a stretch of where fans loved him like nobody else, but they were quick to want to move on. And not just the fans, the franchise in general, like the team was looking for a reason to not give him a big contract. And I'm not telling you I think he's going to produce like wild in Baltimore, but it feels like just the presence of his bat in the middle of that lineup,
it scares people,
made a big, big difference. The way a Marcus Semien, again, a Bo Bichette.
Yeah, they don't.
They just don't.
Yeah.
They just don't. I always thought it was, for a long time, I've thought like the lineup is really only like 3 or 4 guys deep. But it also felt like the rotation never had what the Mets wanted post DeGrom. I like the move for Freddie Peralta, but if Senga isn't going to be really as good as you need him to be, I just don't know that it's built well enough to compete this year.
I think it's interesting when we talk about like 3 or 4 guys who scare you in the lineup. But look at the success the Blue Jays have had. And I know they're different, but those guys, they're not a lot of guys who blow you out of the water there, but they're guys that just produce on a consistent basis. But they don't scare you necessarily from like, they're not Aaron Judge. They're not going to come up and you're worried they're going to pop a home run every time they're up. But 1 through 9, they can produce.
Yeah.
They can produce consistently and they can manufacture runs. So for me, it's not like the lack of 3 scary guys or 4 scary guys. It's a lack of like consistent production 1 through 9, top to bottom.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But no panic button yet.
Okay. All right. How about this moment Tuesday night at UAlbany, right? For our local crowd here. The loss of Liam Gleason in December, after he fell at his home and died days later at Albany Med. The Siena and UAlbany lacrosse teams planted a tree in his honor and memory before that game, what they're calling the larger-than-life game. And the tree was planted, Ash, right where
there,
his brother said where Liam used to park for practice. It's right between Fallon Field and Casey Stadium. And it's right where we as media used to park as well.
Until we got in trouble.
So when I heard Liam's brother, Brendan, say it, I thought, oh man, that's like right where a lot of us would park to go to practice as well, to shoot some video and get some interviews. Anyway, we had storms roll through the area late yesterday afternoon, and what appeared over the stadium, but 2 rainbows.
Double rainbow.
And you'd think, well, 1 for his boys at Siena and 1 for his boys at UAlbany, as Gleason was a player at UAlbany and then a coach at UAlbany before becoming the head coach for the Saints. And they played a tight game back and forth right down to the finish. UAlbany winning 9-7. An emotional night, but a lot of good done in terms of raising awareness about the importance of organ donation and what Liam was able to do after his life in terms of donating his organs to, I think like double-digit people, saved 4 lives, and I think more than a handful others received organs of his. So a really cool night, Tuesday night. They've always played one another. They'll continue to do it in memory of Liam Gleason going forward.
Yeah, you just see that. Listen, people are all about signs. In tough times when you lose people, you look for signs. Like, What better sign than that? Just a big old double rainbow over the stadium. Like it was too perfect. It was too perfect. Everything about it.
Yep. And
Silas Richmond gets drafted 5 minutes before the game starts, but in the PLL.
Yeah.
Like it was a cool night.
Yeah. Brian's daughter was there. Really cool moment to take in for sure. And this won't surprise you in the post game. Scotty Marr was emotional talking about his friend, as I've said on the news this morning. Like Scotty wears it on his sleeve. He can be hard on his players, but man, he loves people.
Yeah, he just loves.
Almost like no other. So a cool moment, as bittersweet as it was. All right, we've got an NFL mock draft to get to here. We are counting it down to the draft in Pittsburgh next week. We'll do that still on O&M. But when we come back here on the show, we're going to talk with our buddies, the two owners of NOVUS, and a soccer development program that is not new, but it is new to NOVUS, and a partnership that will help grow the sport of soccer in the capital region and beyond. That's next on Onorato and Miller. Back in a minute.
Bella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
Nothing better than a chance to unwind at the end of the day. And a Wellness Spa can turn your home into the perfect place to relax, catch up, and enjoy a few quiet moments. With powerful hydrotherapy jets, soothing lighting, and thoughtful design, every soak melts the day away. More relaxation, more time together, more moments to look forward to. Right now at Alpenhaus, step into your own Wellness Spa for as little as $7,995. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs, Amsterdam and Clifton Park.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Our guys at NOVUS have a big new partnership going locally. Nick and Garrett, you know them from the great squad over at NOVUS. Part of this show and everything we do at News Channel 13. Boys, it's good to see you. It's been a while. Let me ask you up front here, before we get to the real reason we're chatting today. When does the Saratoga gear come out?
Oh, that's a hot topic.
Yeah,
topic.
It's very soon. We don't have an official date yet to make public, but it's Belmont's less than 2 months away. So stay tuned. It's very soon.
Yeah. All right. I know you debuted a lot of that gear on our morning show. We expect that to happen again before Belmont weekend. So let's make that happen. This new partnership you guys have with Beestera Soccer, and we'll bring in James Beeson and Mike Matera here in a moment. How did this come together on your end? Look, for my money, you're the premier athletic outfitter in the capital region and beyond the 518. So everybody should be coming to NOVUS to get their custom apparel. How did the Beestera partnership happen?
Nick, take it.
Yeah, no, kind of amazing. Just, we were ending last year, or really fall planning for 26 of last year. And one of the key verticals that we wanted to go after was growing soccer, especially youth soccer in this area and beyond. And, little did we know, we were in a planning session. We came back to our office, and our team said, yeah, these two awesome guys, James and Mike, they walked in and they have this training company called Beestera, and they're looking for a new partner. They've had a long withstanding relationship with Nike, and their contract is up, and they're looking for a new partner. And this was towards the end of last year. And little did we know, it was kind of like a God moment. This would be a real opportunity for us. So really, I think it was, they'll say it, but they heard about us through the Impact Center. They were doing a futsal tournament at the Impact Center last year and saw our location there. And we started talks, and really, you'll see just from the moment we met the guys, we knew that we wanted to make this partnership work.
We're all at Novice headquarters. Let's bring the guys in. James Beeston, Mike Matera. Guys, congratulations on the continued growth of this specialized soccer development program you have. And I know it's more than 10 years old at this point, but it continues to grow. I was looking at the timeline on your website of how it has grown year over year and the number of full-time kind of positions and people you've been able to add. Congratulations on all that. A couple of Siena Soccer alums, by the way, too. James, what makes Novice the right fit for Beestera?
I think just at face value, it was the quality of the product. When we walked into the showroom here and we got a tour of the different quality products that they have, it made sense. But then diving deeper into a conversation with Nick and Garrett here, it was clear that our values aligned. And the slogan of Claim Your Crown really ties into our victory value. So we operate with our thrive values, and that's what we want to instill in the players that we work with. And victory and Claim Your Crown tie in, and it just seemed like a natural fit for us.
Mike, it's got to look good and it's got to feel good too, though, right? Like the mission on its own is a great reason for people to come together. But then when you wear the gear, it's got to make your players feel good. What is it about Novice that rises to the level of anything else you put on?
Yeah, I mean, really, especially for our campers, we want them to have something that they feel proud to wear, and not only just wear at camp, but also wear outside of whatever they're doing soccer-wise to school. Like when they open their drawer in the morning, it's like, what shirt do you want to pick? And that's going to be the one that they pick, just because the quality is amazing. It looks amazing. The colors are super vibrant, and we're excited to show them off.
Garrett, I've never known you guys at Novice to just do kind of your like classic camper's tee. What has changed with Novice here as you develop, apparel specifically for Beestera, knowing, we're talking about some of the best soccer players in the area?
Yeah, I think for us, it was just recognizing that the Beestera platform they're attracting players from all over the country. So for us, in terms of wanting to gain exposure, recognition, and credibility in the soccer space, we kind of wanted to go all out on designing a product that not only was comfortable, but looked cool. So just trying to solve some pain points for them with, maybe they were in the past getting more of a stock product with a slapped logo on. Well, we were able to take some of their inspiration and bring that to life and just the product that we've got for their campers this year. So it was just a combo of like, they have an amazing organization that's growing nationwide, and they're very passionate about what they're doing, but the players that they're impacting, we want to make sure that, they're not just looking great, but they're being fed with things that are going to develop them as world-class athletes. So it's just like a natural fit. So
it's not just the baggy Umbros from back in the day that we all used to rock out on the rec field.
Yeah. I mean, I think we try to take some style points from the great brands out there like that. But we also have the ability to create with these guys because they're so close to the players today, and listening to their feedback and putting together stuff that everyone's going to be excited about. So, this is just the beginning with like the camp tees. We think there's a lot of apparel that we can put together. Their staff, their coaches are going to be rocking different gear. But for me, it's been like, all right, let's dive into the soccer uniform and see how good we can get that product to be, and hopefully share it with all the schools in this area and the programs beyond.
Beestera.com. Check out this incredible development program going. James, when this kind of launched in 2014, I know you and Mike both have coaching background as well as this was kind of getting off the ground. What did you hope this brand would be?
I think when we first started, it was a case of keeping us away from sitting behind a desk upon graduating from Siena. We obviously had a passion for the game. We wanted to kind of give back to the children and the younger players because the game's given us so much and it's afforded us many different opportunities. Myself personally, obviously not from here, but it's given us a lot of opportunities. And so when we first started, it was just identifying individuals that need extra development away from a team-based setting, and just working with them in a personalized setting with the parents as well, and really diving into what they need. And it just kind of blossomed from that. Mike introduced the camps and has took it with both hands and just taken it across the country. So,
Mike, a lot of people do camps and a lot of people do individual workouts, or offer those things, I should say. Why has it resonated so much with more people, the Beestera program?
I think it's really easy to see when training companies like ourselves like actually care about what they're doing and the product that they're putting out, and the passion that we have for it. Like I always tell everyone we work with, like nobody cares about camps more than I do. We always tell our coaches, players, like I truly believe that you can change a player's life in 1 week of camp if you do it right. And really everything that we do from the camp perspective is all about how can we develop great players and even better people. And we really love putting that character emphasis on everything that we do. And it's embedded into every activity that we have, because at the end of the day, it's very hard to make a living playing soccer, be a professional. And it's great that you want to, amount to that one day. But if we can make you a better person along the way while making you a better soccer player, that's only going to help more. So it's just about how can we create as memorable of a moment, for you during that week that you can take into the rest of your time with us.
Again, you want to find out more about the camps, the individual workouts, beestera.com. You guys have grown so tremendously in this area specifically, right? The Capital Region. I saw one of your first, though, partnerships was the Brunswick Soccer Club. My niece plays soccer at Tamarack. She grew up through that organization in that sport and has really grown to love it in such a way, which was really cool for me to see that. What is the reaction, James, you guys get when you say, hey, we went to college here locally, right? We live here. We're invested in this area. Does that seem to kind of ring true more with people?
Yeah, and we want to make Capital Region soccer better for everyone. And our sense of community, which we call our hive, it really means a lot to us. And to take care of the pain points from a player perspective, from a parent perspective, from a local club perspective, means a lot to us as well. And we try and just solve as many problems as we can for that.
Nick, this partnership, growing in the game of soccer, as Garrett talked about here, and in more ways than one, right? You're really in with Beestera Soccer now. How will that help Novus grow in the sport of soccer already? What kind of feedback are you getting from people who try the gear and are in the sport every day?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we launched it on social media on Friday, and it was really cool to see just the feedback from the public, and then relationships, friends, customers that we've had for years that I didn't know knew Beestera, and they've been their kids have been going to camps for years, and they have all the shirts, and now they'll have the Novus shirts. So we know just the power of relationship. It's we built our business on good relationships, great relationships. We really we feel like that's our calling, and our platform is to build great relationships, and we already see that resonating through our relationship with these guys. And I know that they've done, it takes time and a lot of long days and a lot of hard work to really build something. But we felt like, the story of these guys starting right out of college is it's very similar to Garrett and Scott and I's story. And, not everybody experiences that and builds from that. And we sense that, they've already made such a great impact in the local community. And we'd like to think that we've done so as well with our key sports, but with the product and the relationship, I think we're definitely going to make a big bang into the soccer space.
Yeah, no doubt. And your point about the way you've grown so organically and authentically in both of your missions that were individual, right, but now aligned is pretty cool. Time to rise and thrive.
Yeah, let's go.
It's out of both of those.
Let's go.
James and Mike, man, thank you so much for doing this. continued success with Beestera and against Beestera.com. ClaimYourCrown.com for the novice side of things as well. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Maybe this journey you're on has a purpose much greater than yourself. A purpose that goes beyond the field, the court, the gym. A crown awaits those who never give up. It's your time to dream again, to claim victory, and rise up. So what are you waiting for? It's time to rise. Claim your crown.
Grab the family and get on the water in style with a Barletta pontoon featuring the power of a Mercury outboard motor. You'll be slicing through the waves with a smoother, quieter ride, leaving you to relax and soak up the sun. Whether you're cruising with a family or tubing and skiing, Barletta and Mercury will give you the best ride on the lake. With their unmatched reliability and refined performance, Barletta and Mercury won't let anything hold you back from having a summer you'll never forget. So don't wait. Stop by Alpenhaus Boats and start your next adventure today. Check out our great selection on Route 30 in Amsterdam and online at alpenhausboats.com.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Always good to catch up with our guys at Novus and that exciting partnership there with Beestera Soccer. Check them out, Beestera.com. NFL mock draft here, Ash. Before we get that to, this is a little bit of a talker, we call it in TV,
water cooler topic,
or media, whatever. Vermont just hired a new women's basketball head coach. It's Maureen McGarity. She was at Holy Cross, took the Crusaders to a couple of NCAA tournaments in 23 and 24, then took last year off and got married in 2025 to the current Vermont men's basketball coach, John Becker, who's been with the Catamounts since 2011, had great success. There's 6 NCAA tournaments. And now Vermont is the first Division I basketball program to have a married couple leading the way.
I think it's cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very convenient. Nice to go to work. I mean, you probably don't go to work together every day because schedules are crazy.
But at Vermont,
you'll live in the same.
Have got to be in the same.
Yeah, you'll live in the same city. When you're home, and you're not traveling. You know, you're traveling certainly different places. Obviously, like when the men are home, the women are away. So it's not that ideal, but better than coaching 2 teams in 2 different cities. Better than Holy Cross in Vermont. That's far away.
Yep. Yeah. I read that they got engaged in 2023. Married in 25. So Maureen did 1 season coaching at Holy Cross while engaged, then stepped down, gets married, and now John Becker stays at Vermont.
Pretty cool.
Despite some off-season interest. And now they're both in Burlington, Vermont together.
I love it. We love Burlington.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
great town.
It's really fascinating.
Great town. All right, NFL draft is next week. We're live on a Wednesday night here. Pittsburgh will be the site. And here is Mel Kiper Jr.'s latest mock draft.
We didn't give him a 1. That's sad.
Oh, that is sad. Vegas, of course, will take the quarterback from Indiana, Fernando Mendoza. And then there's a lot of discussion about what the Jets do at 2. And it seems like it's going to be one of 2 guys here. It's either going to be the guy Kiper has, the edge rusher from Texas Tech, David Bailey, or the number 3 pick. He has Arizona taking the Ohio State linebacker, Arvell Reese. That doesn't wildly change what's going to happen in the first round. I think the 4th overall pick, and maybe even what happens at 5, could change what some teams decide to do
the rest of the way.
I don't know that Jeremiah Love goes as high as 4 to Tennessee.
That would be pretty crazy. But I love Caleb Downs. If the Giants get Caleb Downs at 5, great.
You would rather Downs than a receiver?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the Giants need help certainly in the secondary. Caleb Downs has been the best
defensive
secondary player the last 2 years.
He's the best defensive player available. I think you take him and you hope that Neighbors comes back healthy. If you can add a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick at receiver, maybe good enough.
Yeah, because Wan'Dale Robinson signed elsewhere, so you're really
you need somebody
there.
You need somebody
at the tight end and receiver position. Okay.
Yeah. Their tight ends weren't bad last year. They started to kind of, and they were guys that you didn't really hear of, had pretty good seasons. But yeah, you need somebody to pair up on the other side of a guy like Malik Neighbors, because he's just going to draw too much attention. Yep. You have to give them something else or someone else to look at on the other side of the field.
Yeah. Then we'll skip down to 16, where the Jets have another pick, and Kuiper has them taking the wide receiver from Indiana, Omar Cooper. Jets,
super talented.
Jets need some help in that department as well. To your point, opposite Malik Neighbors, opposite of Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, give Garrett some help, because the guy is as talented as they come. But again, when all eyes are on you, not as easy to be good. Yep.
Buffalo didn't get a number here either, Ash. And they're going defense at 26 or whatever that number is for them. And then Kuiper has the Cardinals trading into the back end of the first round and taking Ty Simpson. So it would be only 2 quarterbacks off the board in this mock draft in the first round.
That would be the fewest in how long?
Yeah, a long time. And it would require a team trading back in.
Yeah. And that's if nobody else takes him, which you never, it's always, I mean, I think you know which teams need a quarterback, which teams are willing to go after one.
It
but
feels like he's becoming a day 2 pick. Do you remember there was a draft only a few years ago now, and he might already be out of the league. I don't know if he's a backup somewhere on a roster.
The Titans quarterback.
But you woke me. Well, you came to bed
Jordan Love
one night of the first round, and I think you'd stayed up to the end of the first round, and I said,
"Where did Will Levis go?"
First round's over, and I said, "Where did Will Levis go?" And you said he didn't.
Yep.
And I thought, what?
Yep. But that was like last year. I came to bed, and it was like, where did Sanders go? And it was like, he didn't. And then he fell for 3 more days, or 3 more rounds, 4 more rounds.
5th round pick,
he didn't go. Same thing. Like there's always been that one player that just inexplicably has fallen on draft day.
Yeah. Like
on day 1, that people are convinced.
And I guess I'm saying this not to suggest Simpson will slide, but if he's not a first round pick, it's not going to shock me.
No, but then once you get to round 2, people are willing to take flyers on round 2 guys if they need a backup.
Yeah, it worked out for New Orleans taking Tyler Shuck. If Simpson is still there in the second round, you're right. He will be coveted pretty early on, I would think, in the second round. Anyway, that's the NFL draft next week. Can you believe it?
Woo!
NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs.
In Pittsburgh?
NFL draft.
Pittsburgh.
And we'll be at the end of April.
What a time to be alive.
I mean, it flies. We will be at the end of April.
It's crazy.
My goodness. We'll be talking Kentucky Derby. Oh! We'll be thinking about Belmont at Saratoga.
Warm weather. It was 83 degrees today.
You know it.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy the weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching Onorato and Miller here live on a Wednesday night. If you catch us on TV Saturday or Sunday night, thanks for finding us there. Continue to watch as well. We love hearing from you, too. We get messages all the time. Hey, I just found your show on a Sunday morning. We love that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend.